Yo, yo, yo. All right. It's another edition of Movie Talk, feature presentation, episode 9. Quasi with my man Joey. What's good?
What's poppin', my guy?
Man, just maintaining, brother, maintaining another episode of Movie Talk. We got a couple things to talk about. We'll get it popping right away. Coming to America. You saw it. I actually didn't see the movie. High expectations. Give me your thoughts. I've heard it's definitely not as good as the first one, but a lot of people say it's fun and it's kind of just what they needed for, to kind of like ease people's pain during all this pandemic stuff. And it was a good laugh or whatever. How do you figure?
I want to put it in the category of like, it was so bad, it was entertaining. If that made any sense.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's entertaining in a sense. I just really wasn't feeling a lot of the, I dug the whole, all right, well, they, the main base was being in Queens or being in New York for, Akeem to find his bride. This time around, the kind of synopsis, he's looking for his son. Yeah. And now the son's getting acclimated in Zamunda.
Okay.
And then we didn't know about this whole war between Zamunda and Nextdoria.
Wait, hold on real quick. Yeah, because I just got the heads up that it's called Nextdoria. Is that the Wesley Snipes? That's his kingdom is exactly. Nextdoria.
And apparently Wesley Snipes bred the R&B singers and
shout out to the writers Nextdoria. Real creativity, fellas.
For real, wow. Super creative.
Wow.
They had Tiana Taylor and Rotimi as his children. So I mean, it was really weird. And like our producer said for the thing is like, it was a good shot at hooking all these rappers and artists up with these screen times and all these influencers, because that's really what it was. And it sucks because it's a big ensemble cast, and it was a lot of story, and not for nothing. I think probably one of the best parts of the movie was watching his daughter. I forgot the daughter that was his eldest daughter in the movie. I think she was like a really good actress. Like she could be taken very seriously in a movie down the road. So just keep an eye out for that. Other than that, I wasn't really too fond of his son's character. Leslie Jones,
Leslie Jones.
Leslie Jones was, Leslie Jones. It was a lot of SNL vibes going on throughout the movie as well. I really did like Tracy Morgan though. it was a couple ha-ha moments.
Tracy Morgan's funny.
And it's crazy because the first movie, Eddie and Arsenio weren't even trying to be funny, but it just was funny,
just natural.
And now this time it feels so forced. Even when it came down to like Eddie's accent, I just feel like at certain moments, he was super forced. It doesn't really, it kind of centers around, it literally felt like a coming out party for his son's character, like the actor who plays his son.
Like the son.
I gotta Google his name. I forgot it don't remember it off the top of my head, but it was kind of like his coming up party because he got a hell of a lot of screen time, a lot of dialogue.
Not Jermaine Fowler, right? So Jermaine Fowler?
I think it was Jermaine Fowler.
Okay,
yeah.
Jermaine Fowler. There you go. Okay.
It definitely took away from Akeem's character and Eddie Murphy in the movie, and it just seemed really, really stale.
Wow. Okay. Let me just ask, how were the character scenes, the barbershop scenes? Because that's, they hype them up. That's the retro from the first movie.
Yeah.
Funny or just, was it like old jokes rehashed, or what was your vibe on it?
A little bit of the old jokes rehashed, but it was a good ha-ha moment. You got a lot of those with the nostalgic, teases from the original. So like the Randy Watson was cool. Seeing that was pretty straight. But yeah, I wasn't really too fond of the story. It seemed really forced. Like, we got nothing better to do. If they wanted to do a sequel, it should have been, years ago.
Yeah, I figured that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. It's almost like a little too late. This should have happened a while ago. Even though it's good to see a lot of the cast back. Like even James Earl Jones is in there for a little bit, right? Yeah. And all most of the original cast is back that are still alive, right? It's like, so that's cool.
And I don't want to spoil anything, but I thought, the James Earl Jones, part of the movie, which you'll see. I don't want to spoil it for you.
Okay.
It was probably the most cheesiest out of the entire movie, and it's like you just knew it was downhill from there. Damn. And you just got to take the movie for what it is. and just like I said, it's so bad.
It's so bad. It's like
somewhat entertaining. Yeah, it's kind of good.
You know what? It's cool.
Like, I wouldn't. There's no rewatch value.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
I wouldn't ever watch it again.
All right. You know what? Because this weekend was busy for me. I'm going to get to it this week. So next week, when Sus is back and everyone's back, we can all have a real good convo about it. I think that would be the point. Go ahead.
And fun fact, Tracy Morgan was originally supposed to be his son. But, they let time go by so much, you ain't going to believe that. So they rewrote him as the uncle in the movie.
Okay. And that makes sense. You know what? It's one of those things that I'm just going to watch for the hell of it. I'm a fan, of course, of the first one. I did hear, I know it's PG-13, no F-bombs are dropped in this one because, one of the most famous scenes in the first one is like, hey, fuck you too, from the balcony. There's none of that. So we're already starting off on that too. All right, so let's flip the script over. Wandavision, the last episode aired on Disney Plus, episode 9. I know Joey's got a lot to say about this, but I'm gonna set the scene a little bit because I was definitely I was expecting a little bit more, but I will say I was happy that basically they make Agatha Harkness was the kind of main villain. They had the standoff with Wanda. You got to see White Vision fight Vision. Monica Rambeau showed her powers. And even the misdirect with the Quicksilver that we thought was Quicksilver turned out to be Agatha's husband, who was this dude named Ralph Boner. That was a joke inserted. Got that. I mean, all sorts of things happened, but no Nightmare. I mean, no Mephisto.
That we know of.
It was really just Wanda becoming the Scarlet Witch and really becoming empowered as a Scarlet Witch. So, Joy, I'm gonna let you talk a little. I know you weren't as into it as I was.
Yeah, I mean, it still wasn't a bad series. It wasn't a bad episode. I think because we predicted so much throughout, us talking about the show, we had these high expectation of these like crazy reveals or, Easter eggs and things like that, or maybe even like a Doctor Strange pulling up in the episode. We don't go in there with that expectation because it doesn't happen. I'm gonna tell you right now, just so that way, you don't feel like me at the end of the episode, because I had to watch it a second time to actually appreciate it without going in there with predictions. I think what was really dope about it was the fact that, we got to see not only Elizabeth Olsen and Wanda being acknowledged as the Scarlet Witch, but you got to see her in her full costume.
Yeah, the transformation was dope to me. The transformation was dope. I loved how she just took all of Agatha's energy and she took her chaos magic back, and then she took Agatha's and she was like an upgrade to Scarlet Witch, and then she was Scarlet Witch. It was like, that's the Scarlet Witch. She's a bad bitch.
and for real, we peeped that. And she showed it off a little bit because, she doesn't really know much about magic. And she took that little piece of information she got from Agatha, applied it to the hex and just set it up some crazy. It was overall, it was a very, very good episode and a very touching at the end too, because you already knew what to expect with the whole Vision situation, because he lives in that hex. But one thing we needed to watch out for is that confrontation between Cataract Vision and
White Vision
and Vision, because there was a they were sharing, looked like they were sharing information. I felt like Vision was transferring his memories.
So it was kind of like Vision kind of goes, the Vision that is the old Vision, but the one that Wanda reconstructed herself, fights the White Vision, who is what Sword's version. They basically reassembled old Vision's parts, and that was White Vision in this, right? So when they fight, it's almost equal. And at first, Wanda's, she thinks it's the regular Vision, but then he basically comes up to her, starts squeezing her head, and then Vision has to intervene. But there's a moment when the two Visions and the old school Vision kind of talks to the White Vision and kind of gives him like a logistics thing, and the long story short of it, and not going verbatim of what he said, it was kind of like, hey, are you still Vision if basically you're a rebuilt version of me using spare parts? Are you still me? And then he was just like, kind of like, oh, never thought about it that way. And it was just kind of like, okay, logically speaking, I'm not, plus I don't have the Mind Stone. And so it was that kind of thing that kind of just finally split the fight up, and you're like, okay. But that's Vision. If people know Vision from the comics, he's not just this android that's powerful and can do all these things. He also has this real super logical mind, and he's like a big, well-read kind of dude. So it really fit the character. I thought that was really well played. I love the part, like you said, the Easter eggs when Wanda comes with the kids and Vision, and they have that's the Avengers Assemble moment where they do that whole thing. It's like, kids, you take on a sword, we got the rest. You handle it. We didn't train you for this, but you were born for this.
You were born for it. That was dope.
I love that part. And I love the part when Monica Rambeau comes into I forget the Hayward dude. He comes in to shoot the kid, and then Monica jumps in the middle, and she finally uses her powers to kind of phase the bullets. And then the one last bullet, the kid stops on his own, and dude knows he's fucked. It's just like, that was dope to me. So
indeed, man, it was really awesome. Just kind of seeing them assemble. What kind of threw me off a little bit is how White Vision, just disappears out of nowhere. Like you just don't see him anymore.
He kind of
have that. Yeah, he just boogied. Like he just skated after the whole little conversation they had. It was wild, and that gives me the theory or the prediction that he'll come back as the actual Vision.
yeah Vision's not done, and that was kind of opening the door, keeping the door open for that Vision, the White Vision, to finally get whatever's left of the old Vision's his mentality or being into him and become the new Vision, I guess, or however they're going to spin it in the MCU. They got something planned
for sure.
Vision is not going away. Yep, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Like even with the Agatha, keeping her at bay. So she's going to be hanging around too. So this is going to be interesting. She actually turned her into the the nosy neighbor, that character. That
she basically just like, hey, you're the nosy neighbor, so now you're permanently stuck in this world. And she's like, oh, don't do that to me. No, already done. It's like, so literally at the end, it's like Wanda just sucks all her power into her, because Agatha was sucking Wanda's power initially, and you were thinking that that's how it was going to end, because you saw like with the hands, like Wanda's hands were turning gray because she was losing her power, but she was basically setting up Agatha, which was, I thought that was a great spin. I know people were expecting more, and it was definitely the misdirect with I always forget the kid's name who played Quicksilver, and we thought that was the real Quicksilver.
Evan Peters, yeah.
Mutants were going to be introduced, but that's not what happened. At the same time, though, we're going to roll into the next topic, because
good pump fake.
Yeah, it was good. Exactly. Good pump. Exactly. That's a great way to put it. Great pump fake. Great football reference. So let's talk a little X-Men, because speaking of mutants, Disney's finally kind of announced that they've got a semi-title for the new X-Men movie, which may be just The Mutants instead of X-Men. So I wanted to get your thoughts on that. How you kind of feeling about that? I'm definitely going to chime in, because I feel like the X-Men name is just too branded. You can't take that away.
Yeah, I think they're going to slow build it, just like how they did with Avengers. I think Marvel does it right when it comes to like a big ensemble cast like that. Just kind of give everybody some quality screen time. I think we just get to know these guys as just who they are. Like Wolverine wasn't called Wolverine in the previous X-Men, just called him Logan. We just knew he was Wolverine. So I think we're going to get that, like a kind of a slow build. I think how everybody's getting their powers. Who knows if Wanda's hex from Westview affected a lot of those people like it did for Monica Rambeau, who's will be Spectrum and Captain Marvel 2. And it's cool, you know what I mean? Just calling it the mutants, everybody's getting mutated. Nobody knows what to do with their powers. Then you introduce a Professor X, who I think will probably be the main focal point and kind of gathering all these people together. Kind of like on some Avengers, some Avengers type shit. So I'm all for it. I'm cool with them just not going all in, like calling it X-Men just yet. I think it's just kind of reintroduce everybody, kind of, get everybody away from the previous X-Men movies and bring them together and get to know these guys and how their powers, and we grow with these characters as they go.
I guess that's a good point. My only thing is just the X-Men is too big of a brand. You can't drop that name, because one of I was reading the story, one of the EVPs was saying that the X-Men name is kind of outdated because it's always included women. But my point is, we get that, but certain names are just who they are. It's always going to be inclusive of women. You're always going to have the strong characters like so. In fact, X-Men was one of those first team series in the comics that had a bunch of women as stars, like Storm, Rogue. I mean, the Phoenix series, this is the most famous thing. Epic. It was all about the most powerful woman in the galaxy. So, I mean, that goes without saying. X-Men is all inclusive, but how they do it, we'll see. I'm kind of with you on that, to kind of just divorce everyone's memory from the old Singer X-Men's first, to kind of slowly sprinkle in people where they can and build up the universe.
Kind of what they did in First Class. You know what I mean? They didn't, I mean, it was called an X-Men film because obviously it's, you know, Fox, they're trying to sell, you know, you're selling the X-Men brand. But I think Marvel's already done so good with what they've done together. You can call it, you know, something like you can call it Professor X if you wanted to, and it'll be it would still do good. Yeah, like it could be just that. And you don't necessarily have to. Yeah, you don't have to put X-Men. I think they've built the brand so much to the point where, you know, they can pretty much do what they want, man, and title it however they want, and they're gonna give some quality content. So I'm excited for, you know, and I'm not even mad at the title for the mutants and not incorporating X-Men, because I think that'll come further along as they continue down the MCU.
For sure. I mean, I think the branding needs to stay. And to be clear, they haven't confirmed yet that will be the title. So far, Disney has only confirmed in that universe that Deadpool 3 is a go with Ryan Reynolds. They've locked that in. But everything else with the new X-Men franchise, what they call it, hasn't truly been locked in yet. These are just, you know, rumors that are going around, and probably things are thrown around. But while we're talking MCU, it's only right we talk a little bit about Thor. There was some Thor news. Thor: Love and Thunder, the new movie's coming out. Taika Waititi's doing this one again from Ragnarok. I mean, it's looking like it's an all-star cast. I mean, Natalie Portman's coming back as Jane Foster, and she's looking kind of ripped. I don't know if you saw a picture of she's looking brolic, dude.
Yo, shit, I don't want to pick a fight with her, man. That girl, like, she's ready to take my lunch money.
She's in the gym hard, cat. Like, heavy. Yo, what's your thoughts?
She in the gym, all chest, no legs.
Yo, she was not looking like Queen Amidala from Star Wars.
Nah,
she was.
Yo, she couldn't even like. I don't feel like she could turn her neck, bro. I don't know, but yeah, she's gonna be. You know, I think it's obviously all more because, you know, she's gonna inherit or take on Thor's powers. She's gonna be the, you know, female Thor at some point in the movie. So far it looks cool, and I like how, you know, I think Taika Waititi is like an amazing director, a great balance of you know, some comedy, you know, shining light on situations, but also knows when to get serious in points of the movie. I mean, we got that in Ragnarok, and it kind of revamped that Thor series to the point where, I mean, this is the only MCU movie that has a fourth sequel. So, you know, out of the main, you know, out of the Iron Mans, the Captain Americas, like, this is a Thor movie, which, you know,
I guess besides Avengers, because technically, but yeah, you're right.
But this is out of the, you know,
the solo movies.
The solo movies.
This is the one this is the first one, because Iron Man never had a 4. You're right. That's a great point. That's a great point. Spider-Man's only up to 3.
And it's cool because Taika brought new life to the character and made him more enjoyable, because I think after Thor: Dark World, it was a tough watch just because it just didn't.
Let me be clear. The Thor first one was bearable to me. The second one was trash. I can't even rewatch the second one. Even when that's one joint that most of them come on TV, I can watch a little bit. Thor: The Dark World is so bad. I never can watch through that whole movie. I watched through one time when I first saw the movie way back when it came out, and then after that I was like, oh, this movie was terrible.
It was tough because Chris Hemsworth was I feel like he was kind of kept in a box. And I think they didn't make his character fun. I think Taika revamped it, made him fun, made him funny. Like, who knew Chris Hemsworth was that funny?
It was the precursor to what we got in Endgame, and yeah, like everything we got in those last 2 Avengers movies was because of Taika Waititi. That character and that's the character we love. And even when he became Fat Thor in Endgame, it was like, you got it, because he was already that was the guy we saw. Oh, dude. Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to this. Christian Bale is joining the MCU also. So he's going to be the God Butcher in this one. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what he's going to do.
And you peep that, you know, they're bringing back Matt Damon. And I guess Melissa McCarthy are coming back.
Melissa McCarthy's going to have a cameo as Hela. So like the fake Hela in there. So
they're gonna do that. They're gonna reenact the play like they did in Ragnarok. So they're gonna They're gonna talk about everything that happened in the last film in this upcoming film. That's fun.
Dude, I'm actually for the first time. Since Ragnarok, I'm looking forward to a Thor movie, because Ragnarok, I didn't know what to expect. And when I saw it, I was pleasantly surprised. But this one is the first Thor movie. I'm thoroughly looking forward to this one. I'm really like, yo, take my money. I'm in. Taika Waititi's made me a believer. He revamped that whole series. So dope. We're both up for that. Let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk DCEU now. Like Henry Cavill, he's definitely been in the news. The Snyder Cut's coming out. Henry Cavill's not really playing ball because he's not feeling it because we talked about last week. J.J. Abrams is doing a reboot. It's not going to have Henry Cavill in it. It's probably going to have a black Superman. And supposedly Henry Cavill's not on board, so he's not promoting the Snyder Cut. Pretty much it's a one-man show with that. Zack Snyder's doing all the promoting along with HBO Max. And to be fair, I haven't seen any of the other, like even Gal Gadot, I haven't seen her like tweet anything or any of the other cast members, Ben Affleck or anybody really tweet anything about the movie. So what are you thinking, Joey, about Henry Cavill? Is it just he's just annoyed or he's just like not even bothering?
I would say he's pretty annoyed. He could be. Or this could be a pump fake too on DCEU's part, where it's just like promo for the Snyder Cut, because it's like, all right, well, you got rumors and tabloids talking about, Henry Cavill was like pissed off with, the studio. I mean, the automatic, thought is like, oh, this is the last time we're gonna see his version of Superman. That's true. We gotta watch Snyder Cut. So who knows if that's like a promo. Sometimes, PR, agencies are kind of, do what's right to kind of build hype around something, or a certain a movie that's up and coming. So I don't doubt that he might be pissed, especially if J.J. Abrams announced that he is rebooting Superman and Henry won't be back after, like, we thought that this guy was going to be on for the next couple movies, or that they were writing another Man of Steel 2.
Yeah, technically they had contracted him to do like 2 more, I believe, and so it was just. Yeah.
And it's so crazy, it's like I don't know if you ever watched the show Entourage, but it's like,
absolutely.
You ever
we
seen
talked about that last week? Because Sloan is in the Superman versus Lois series. Yeah,
right.
Yes, that was my joint. Yeah.
So I mean, it's like when Vincent Chase was playing Aquaman, and
Aquaman.
That whole.
It's kind of like you're actually right. You mentioned that last week. I'm like, it's kind of a weird parallel because now it's like Henry Cavill's a guy, and I've heard behind the scenes people that they're still negotiating. So never say never. And like I was talking about last week, a lot of this stems from the fact that it's rumored that Henry Cavill is just difficult to work with.
Yeah.
And he didn't do the Shazam cameo that they wanted him to do. So that's why WB is still mad at him. Although that was like years ago. It's almost like, guys, just like sweep us under the rug. And especially if you want to ride the Zack Snyder train right now, because I think the Snyder Cut's going to be a huge success. I mean, it looks incredible. So let's talk a little bit about the 2 trailers. They just released a new one for Batman and one for Superman. Have you seen any of those?
Yeah, I peeped them on the IG.
They both look dope to me. What do you think?
I'm not even mad, bro. Like, I think this is gonna be great. I'm really hyped for to see this next week.
Right. It's another week.
Yeah. So I can't wait to see what's in store for the Snyder Cut. Like I said before, I've loved the dark Snyder Cut, vision, the Snyder vision. It's very dark, and I think that's what we're gonna get this time around. And it's not gonna be a puff piece film.
It's the true follow-up to what we should have gotten Batman v Superman.
Exactly.
Continuation of Batman with the Nightmare in the crap cut that we got, the Whedon cut. There was no mention of that. Stuff didn't make sense. It didn't follow through. This is going to be the follow-through. Superman's going to be in the black suit. We already saw it. And quick fun fact: Zack Snyder said he filmed Cavill in the black suit, but filmed it in such a way so that when the studios didn't want it, they easily made it a color version. So, but he filmed him in that black suit. So that's
I feel like Warner's always shitting on Zack Snyder's vision, and it's crazy because and he still sticks around. He drops extended versions of Dawn of Justice, Justice League.
Well, this I can tell you can tell this was his passion project. This was like his baby. He had built up for this to be, and there was always those rumors. Remember Jason Momoa was like, "Yeah, I saw the cut. It's dope." People had seen that work print, that alleged 4-hour work print, which is now going to be the Snyder Cut. So we knew he had a version, and he was just more than happy to go in and finish it up. Warner's kicked in the money. This is a really smart move. I mean, no matter if you loved or hated BVS, I think this is going to be a good finale for people to just really tap in and be like, oh, this is what he was trying to do. And I think it's going to make a lot of sense. And then people can even go back and enjoy Man of Steel more and BVS more when everything connects. Right. So that's my vibe on it. And the visuals look amazing. It's like, just take my money. I'm in. I already got HBO Max, but
I'm hyped.
I'm riding that 4 hours, or whatever it's going to be, bathroom breaks, whatever. I'm there, but
I can sit through a whole, trust me, I can sit through a whole, a 4-hour superhero movie. I have no problem with that.
Yo, me too. I mean, listen, I geared up. I remember when Endgame came out, I was like, all right, it's like me and my girl was sitting there like, all right, so this is what we need to do. I was like, obviously went to the restroom before. I was like, I'm not drinking a ton while we watching it. I'm gonna make it through the end of this. I know this joint is 3 hours, and we did it. So we did it. It's like my girl didn't make it, but I definitely was like, nah, I ain't moving, dude.
Sure,
This
yeah.
shit was getting good.
I can't move. I hold it in.
So exactly. I got this. All right, so last thing we're talking a little bit Superman. I know you haven't seen, or have you seen the Superman Lois series?
Haven't gotten a chance to watch it, and I was just, I wanted to know, like, is it going to be, because it's CW, does it go on HBO Max automatically?
See, I'm not sure about that, and they should if they haven't already. I know you can see it on demand on the CW. If you go to CW, they got all their shows available that way, but HBO Max, not sure about that. I will tell you this, though. The series is really good. Once again, I'm just going to give it a plug because I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't think it was going to be as good as it was. I end up seeing a lot of the episodes because they come on Tuesday and I get home later and I'll just DVR and watch them. I'm like, yo, the quality, first of all, is really good. The storyline they're going through is great. They've divorced themselves kind of from the rest of the CW universe. So there's no, like I said before, no Arrow mentions, Flash, even Supergirl. And while I'm kind of talking about that, the reason why I mentioned that is I think they've got 2 more episodes before they go on a hiatus. And when they go on that hiatus, Supergirl is coming back for her final season in that time slot on Tuesdays. So people need to watch out for that. And what they're saying is the reason why they're doing that is because Superman and Lois had to take a hiatus because there was a COVID, there was a COVID kind of scare on the set. So they had to take a break. So this is going to fill in that gap. But then they're saying that Lois and Superman, or Superman and Lois will come back in May to continue the rest of the series, and then Supergirl finishes in the summer after that. So Supergirl's just going to take Superman and Lois's place for a few weeks, then Superman and Lois come back, and then Supergirl will finish up his last season. So
wow.
Any final? I know that's a whole lot, but a lot of super family stuff going on the CW. But
I feel like CW, like they get it right as far as the TV's shows are concerned. From what I know, like I've never really heard any bad reviews about the TV shows. Even I've heard good things. I've even read reviews on Lois and Superman. So I mean, just seeing how they get, I don't understand how they get it together on the TV shows, but can't
do it right. And they even had in the last crossover, they even had the Flash from Justice League pop in because it was their version of Flashpoint. And I thought they did that so well, and it opens things up for both universes to now combine if they want to. And I think that we're going to get some more teasers of that in the Flashpoint movie that they eventually do, the Flash movie, hopefully within that next year.
Yeah, it's a nice test to, like, you know, that the movies they feel like, oh well, DC and Warner are looking at it like, oh well, you know, we're not really hitting with the movies. Actually, TV shows are doing great, so let's, you know, fuck it, let's just do our multiverse, you know, through the TV shows, which is pretty straight with me. And then, you know, I like the idea of how they're doing it. With they're giving you a piece of this they making you want more of the Lois and Superman TV show. And it's like, okay, well, let's incorporate Supergirl to kind of hold everybody off and kind of, you know, get her acclimated, and then come back with more of the Lois and Superman. So it's really dope, and it's kind of a domino effect between all the series, because it's like, you know, it's kind of what Marvel's doing with Disney Plus. It's just like one series kind of rolls over into the next.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're exactly right. And you know what? While you mentioned that was a good segue. Last thing I'll mention, we didn't mention after WandaVision, they're going to have a final kind of a wrap-up episode this coming week, which is just like a behind-the-scenes kind of legend episode where they talk about everything they did in the series, how it's leading into the next series, which we know is Falcon and Winter Soldier. So that's coming that following week. Then we're going to obviously be talking about that show here. That's going to be action-packed. If you guys haven't seen the trailers for those, you're just super sleeping. Then after that, they've got the Loki series coming, which will all kind of wind up into next year when they start the new Doctor Strange movie comes out, and then the new Spider-Man movie comes out. So MCU is literally like the Diddy of freaking movies, can't stop, won't stop. So
take that.
Got a lot, right? Take that. Yo, so yeah, and any thoughts on that, Joey? You looking forward to it?
I'm looking forward to it. I'm curious to see if we're gonna get any maybe like a a lost episode maybe from WandaVision through this assembled
I hope so.
I heard it's like something, you know, from the rumors that I'm hearing, like, you know, it's apparently we're gonna get like some cut scenes, some maybe
For
things
sure.
that tease into, you know, something else or what have you. And of course we're gonna be tapped in. It's Marvel. WandaVision was extraordinary, especially for being you know, Disney Plus and Marvel hitting it out the park for their first series ever within the MCU. So it's going to be exciting, and I'm really hyped for Falcon and Winter Soldier and seeing what that, you know, how that's going to, you know, unfold and how much story they're going to tell through that. Curious to see if we're going to get a Chris Evans cameo in it, maybe old Cap.
Yeah, I would. You know, they definitely did, like you said, a fake punt. I was looking for Doctor Strange, or I really wanted Magneto, but I saw as it was going, it's like, nah, they're not going there.
And it's crazy because, like, even Wanda's, you know, and when she was in her Scarlet Witch outfit, it was reminiscent of that, you know, Michael Fassbender Magneto outfit.
Yeah. And then at the
like
end, did you catch the fact she was in the cabin, but she was astrally projecting herself, so she's got that power like Doctor Strange can do.
That was wild because, you know, now that, you know, it was made clear in that episode that the, you know, that book was the Darkhold,
right?
And you know, Agatha was warning her, hey, you know, you understand what you unleashed right now.
Exactly. And they're kind of rumoring that could be the way they introduce, you know, that character Chthon in the Marvel universe, who's also another, like Nightmare and those guys. That's how they would introduce that guy into the series later on, so they're going to tap more into the dark world and all that later. We know that's happening.
And her kids exist. Her kids are existing in the Darkhold, so they're in a realm or a multiverse. That's why it leads into Doctor Strange too.
For sure. There's a lot of little tidbits that they threw in there, a lot of shit they sprinkled us with. But all dope, man. I was excited to see what's coming. Thanks again for joining me this week, my man Joey. A little more movie talk. Hopefully next week we get Sus back. We get our guys back in, talk some full stuff again. We'll talk more Coming to America, as hopefully all of us will have seen it by then. We're gonna drop our social medias down below. Guys, make sure you subscribe, help us promote the channel and all that good stuff. We'll be back here again with our guys next week, talking more movies and shows and all that shit you guys like.
For sure.
Cool. Deuces.